Okay, this will be the last part of the HD stove build. I have my hard drive platter and my tube all ready to go here. I clamped them together. And I put the paper on here. That way I don't get any epoxy on any of my table or anything. I have it all stuck together. So for epoxy, I just used the Harbor Freight. Actually, I bought some big tubes this time. I usually buy the small tubes and then I run out a day or two later because I've used it all up. So I went ahead and bought the big tube this time. It's HFT Harbor Freight Tools. And I don't know what the actual temperature rating on this epoxy is. I've never had any problem with it melting, so I'm assuming it's okay, but it may have to be redone at some point with some JB Weld if it doesn't work. But anyways, there is no temperature rating on here, but it does bond metal, ceramics, wood, stone, plastic. Sounds like an all-around epoxy. So I'm going to open this up, and it takes like 5 minutes to set, 15 minutes for load, and 24 hours for a cured strength. So I usually put it on there and give it the full 24 hours before I do any additional stuff to it. Actually, I'll do 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it over and I'll do my other side, and then I'll give that 5 minutes before I move it again, and then I'll just set it aside for the night. So what I usually do is, I usually have a smaller tube, but what I usually do is I take a bottle and soda bottle or something, cut off the bottom of it, and I use the bottom of that indentation as my mixing bowl. This one's actually been mixed probably, it's pretty solid in there. It's about a 1/4 inch thick with a mixture of epoxy and JB Weld back and forth every time. So that's, I've just been using that one for probably the last 12 stove builds, and it's done pretty good. So I generally just mix up the same amount of each. So I can get close to this and not have to take it out of the camera screen. So I just get a piece of metal and I just go around the edge of this thing and get that in there. So that's more than enough epoxy on there, and if that sits about 5 minutes, that'll actually harden up pretty good. Let that go. I'm going to take my magnet out here, and while I'm doing all this, I might as well use the rest of the epoxy to seal this hole in the magnet. And what I do for that is I just get a piece of paper like such, and put it on the bottom side of this, flip it over, and put some epoxy in the hole down there. It doesn't take much. You don't want it coming over the top or it'll melt. Now I gotta wipe that off there. You know, I don't think I used the metal last time I did this because it keeps wanting to stick to the magnet, so now I've got to wipe all that off there. I think I used a piece of plastic to drip it in there last time. And that'll be enough for that one. Magnets. Pain in the butt. Let me get a piece of paper towel there, because I don't want to have that epoxy on the bottom of there. That will just cause the magnet to wobble around when it sticks to something, so we don't want that. We want it to be a nice, smooth surface. A little bit of epoxy won't hurt too much. That was a horrible, horrible job of wiping it up, too. Oh, there's a piece of paper towel. I can just tear some off there. Let's see if I can get a little more off there. Any epoxy that would have fixed to the bottom of this would cause it to wobble. There we go. Perfect. So that'll fill up, and that'll dry in about 5 minutes. I'll turn the video back on, and we'll flip it over and do the other side. I'm going to see if I can find something else I can do epoxy, because I got a lot of extra epoxy. It will dry up in 5 minutes. Alright, while it's drying up there, I got out my other nipple bottle here so I can start working on putting that together with the nipple. And I pulled the label off of this. This had a label on it. Like I said, I thought I got them from Target or something like that. I don't know where I got them from 100%, but these labels, once you take them off on this thing, it leaves a sticky residue. And a little rubbing alcohol or a little alcohol will start to break it up, but it won't take it off. So what I always use is Goo Gone. It's got a citrusy smell, and it doesn't stink up your hands too bad if you get a little on your hands. But I use that and a little paper towel, and generally give it a once over on the whole thing, and then I flip the paper towel around and get it from the other side. And that's usually more than enough to clean off any kind of sticky residue I have on anything. So that bottle's ready to go as far as that goes. Now we just got to take the cap off And get our little razor here, and we just cut that cap right off the edge there. We're not going to keep that for anything. A little rough, so we want to shave that off a little bit there. Don't want anything cutting our fingers on. There we go. So that's ready to go there. Now, I mentioned to you that I had put the nipple in there last time. It was tough to get it in there, but it worked perfectly once it got in. Well, I have my two nipples here. I don't want to lose my O-ring. I have it on there right now. I already cut my O-ring. I don't know if I showed you that last night, but let me lay it on something you can see, a white paper. I cut the edges of my O-ring off last night. I don't think I caught that in the video, but I wanted to show you. I just did it with a pair of scissors, the plastic O-ring. So I snipped off the top and bottom. So I'm not sure if I caught that in the video last night. So while that stuff's drying, I want to show you this. Basically, I just started out and just kind of force thread a little bit with my finger until it looks like it's straight. And that's about as far as I can go with my finger. Then I pick up a pair of needle nose and I get a good grip on it. Ah, came out. Gotta start over. A lot of force. It's actually threading itself as it goes in. And you don't want to go past the point where it's reached the bottom there. I'm actually going to pull the hose off of here so I can get a good grip on it. Let me switch to these, because then I can come straight down on top of it and push hard. And it's bottomed out there. So once it bottoms out, you don't want to push any further, and that's a good tight seal now. Now, the only issue with this is if you're going to carry it in your pack, you're going to have to put something over the top of it, possibly, so you don't poke anything. Maybe even if you just cut off a little piece of silicone to put over the top of it so it doesn't break it off, that nipple. Well, I don't know if it'll break it off, but you don't want that poking through something because those little nipples are kind of pointy. You could just leave this on here like this and pull it off of your stove and leave the nipple on here. I haven't figured out how to seal this yet, so if anybody's got any ideas on how to seal this when you have it in your pack, if you pull it off there, it would just run all out, so I don't know how to seal it up yet. I haven't got an idea for that. I need some kind of cap for the micro nipple so that I can leave my nipple in the bottle like this, and or I possibly could take this off of here and just leave that with the stove, but then I need to find another cap for this bottle. I don't know if I have one yet. I have a yellow one here that I was playing with. I have some spare ones, like I said. That was my original fuel feed. It didn't work very well. That was pretty lousy, so just want to show you how far I've come. Yeah, right. That's all for that right there. We're going to wait for this to dry a little more, and then we're going to flip it over and do the other side. Alright, it's pretty dry. It's only been about 5 minutes, but I'm going to pull this off of here. Just paper I'm pulling off right now. I'm going to cover most of that with epoxy anyway, so it won't really matter too much. And then, oops, maybe it's not dry on the bottom. Yeah, it's pretty dry. I think that was something I dripped earlier. Okay. Not super dry, so I'm going to be cautious with it. And then what I need to do is I need to put this on here, and I'm going to glue around the outside and the inside on this one because I want that base to be nice and tight on there, because that's what you'll be grabbing it by and pulling it off with the magnet. So I'm going to put this down on top of here. I'm going to mix myself up another batch of epoxy here. Not quite as much as I did last time. And then I'm carefully going to try and come down inside here and just put it around the inside ring. The caution part is you do not want to get it in your fuel line hole here that you tapped out already. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and put the O-ring on here and the bit right in here with a little silicone to keep it from leaking at any chance. And I usually have a nail sitting right here, but I don't see one, so I'm going to use this end. Doesn't take very much at all. You just get a little bit on there, and then what I usually do is I just dab it around the outside edge here. You don't want to get too much on there because you don't want it getting in the hole. And it's just one thing to keep it kind of from coming unscrewed. Actually, more than enough on there already. And then you tend to dry out a lot of silicone by leaving it open. Put this back on here. Sorry, can you guys see what I'm doing here? And I kind of threaded that yesterday. And then I take that and see how there's a flat side to it. Make sure that flat side is up and down once you thread it all the way in. Kind of fall into the groove you made with the file. I'm not sure if I'm even in the camera here. Oops, I'm unthreading. Actually, I'm going to pull the hose off there. I'm going to grab my needle nose. Oops. Do not want to over tighten this, just snug. And then we'll let that dry along with everything else overnight. But the last thing we have to do to make this a stove is to add our carbon felt, which I'm going to go grab. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, I started putting the carbon felt in without the camera on. So you roll up a little bit and you stuff it down the center all the way. Then you take your ring you cut out, and I cut mine just by hand. I literally just cut around the outside edge, and for the center I fold it over, cut an X, and then fold it over this way, cut an X, and then cut my little my corners out, and then just kind of trim it up and lay it on there and see if it fits. And then I think I mentioned in a couple videos, I super glue these down usually, but as Tenny mentioned, they don't last very long. Now this one I cut the full length. Sometimes I'll cut it smaller and then put a ring on the outside like I did in my last one. That gives me two different sizes. So I may go ahead and fold this in half and cut a whole ring around the outside of here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. But since this is my personal stove, I may just leave it like this. So there we have it. And I got to be careful with the, because we just epoxied it tonight, so everything's still a little bit undry. But you know, you've got your different size bases on there, or you can put a big one on there. That's a big lightweight one. There's a small lightweight one. It's basically the same size as your magnet, just keeps some dirt out of your magnet. And then we had the big one last night or in my last video that I was showing you. The real heavy one. I think it's over here. 1 second, I'll be right back. I only have one of these, and I can't keep it because I'm giving it away with the free stove I'm giving away. And that's the heavy one. It'll keep the thing from falling over for sure. So you can put any size washer you want on there, any kind of metal plate. You could even stick it to a what was this, tin? A metal tin. So have any size base you want on it. You can even store your stuff inside there if you want it to. So that's my HD stove and how it's made. I want to thank everybody for watching. This will be my 100th video. I'm going to go ahead and change the camera around here a little bit so I can see my face and my entire garage here. So this will be my 100th video, and I said I was going to give away a stove just like the one I just made, actually over there on the workbench. It was one that I made previously, similar exactly to this. Some minor differences, like the felt I had cut different. Really, that's about it. Everything else is exactly the same. So all I'm asking is that you're a subscriber to my channel and that you comment on one of my 4 videos, my last 4 videos, 97, 98, 99, or 100, and I don't know the names of them. A couple of them are about this stove here, and I think that's pretty much it. There was one I announced that I was going to give away a stove. So I'm going to go ahead and give away that stove with all the contents that are listed in that last video, and I'll ship it out to you, no charge to you, and I'm just doing it because it's my 100th video, and I'm making a celebration of that. What I'm going to do is, today is Sunday, so I'm going to go ahead and not do my 101st video until I want to say Wednesday night. No, I can't say Wednesday night because our Boy Scouts are having a Christmas party. So Tuesday night, I'll put up a video announcing the winner. It'll just be a video about that. I might show off some new stove ideas if I come up with something between now and then, but I doubt it. So Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Central Standard I'm going to go ahead and say that's it. I'm pulling all the names. So if you have a comment in by that time, Tuesday, let's see, today's the 11th, 12th, 13th. I think that'd be the 13th. So Tuesday the 13th, if you posted a comment by 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and you're a subscriber and such forth, I'll enter all the names, I'll pull them out, I'll do a drawing on video, and we'll see who wins. And then as long as that person sends me their mailing address, I'll ship the stove out to them for free. If not, then we'll just do another drawing the following Tuesday, and we'll just keep doing it until we find somebody that won. We'll just keep doing it until we find somebody that wins. So hopefully the first person wins and they get the stove without any problems. I think that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to keep making alcohol stoves. I enjoy doing it. Maybe sometime in the future I'll give another one away. One guy asked me if I was going to sell them, and nah, I'm just doing it for my own hobby. I'm not going to sell them. I enjoy watching Tenny make them. These are kind of a carbon copy of what Tenny makes. Smoke Eater 908 makes them. I like his stoves. So these are kind of a carbon copy of what they make. Not really. I mean, they're cheap. They're do-it-yourself. So they're not carbon copies. I shouldn't say that. They're really cheap do-it-yourselves. They're knockoffs, whatever you want to call them. But they're for me. They're personal. And that's all they really are. I'm not selling them. I'm not going to put them up on eBay. I'm just keeping them for myself. Those guys want to keep making them and selling them. That's great. Because every once in a while when I gather up enough cash, I buy one of them from somebody. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we get another 100 videos in the next year here. Take care, everyone.